Hereby called to order. The meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, May 7, 2025. The time is 9 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Roussel,
Here?
Commissioner Leone,
Here.
Commissioner Romick,
Here.
Commissioner Guidry,
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Here.
5 present and a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Being no business, we will move on to the approval of minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the minutes from April 30th.
We have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Shandrika Banks on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 527 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 490 and place 37 in pending status. Staff requests approval of these change orders.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 490 change orders and place 37 in pending status for reasons given by staff.
We have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Shandrika Banks on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 85 prior pending change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 82 and leave 3 remaining in pending status. Staff requests approval of the prior pending change orders.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve prior pending change orders, 82 accepted, 3 placed in pending status.
We have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted. Motion compelled.
Mr. Chairman, the next items on the agenda concern 2 motions to compel that were filed by the assessor in the Del Segura matter, docket number 2422103-012. Mr. Williamson is here, who represents the assessor. Taxpayer's not here. You're not here for Del Segura, are you?
No.
Okay. And taxpayer didn't submit anything. It's 2 motions to compel. I'll let Mr. Williamson fully brief you, but it's 1 request for inspection of the property, 1 request to compel the taxpayer to answer written discovery. Mr. Williamson, go ahead.
Reese Williamson for Assessor Fitzmaurice, and Drew basically gave you most of my spiel just now. We had 2 motions to compel against Mr. Segura, just entry to land so we could do an appraisal on his property. Another one just for interrogatories and requests for production, just basic stuff about improvements and any other appraisals he's had done recently. And we haven't heard anything from him. So they hit a 30 days to respond. He failed to do so. So we filed 2 motions to compel, which is the next step in this process to try to get him to comply with our requests. And as part of the motion to compel procedure, we also are allowed to ask for our reasonable fees that we've incurred trying to get to this point, to get this order, get him to respond. So we're also asking for that, which in this case would be about $3,000 it's taken to get us here and get me home today. So we request that. And then as far as the orders, I mean, I would, it's up to you, but I would ask, I give him another 30 days, a deadline of 30 days to respond, and then 30 days to let us go onto his land. But I guess you would need to pick the date for that actual land entry.
Mr. Altman?
I think what I would suggest with regard to the request for inspection, presumably that you're going to grant it, is to give him a date by which to comply, and then order that he communicate and confer with the assessor's office to pick a date that's mutually acceptable to both parties, and that if he refuses or fails to do that, I assume the assessor will come back before you asking for further relief. But it sounds like the assessor's asking for a 30-day window of time for the inspection, a 30-day window of time for him to answer the written discovery. We can calculate that, but I'll just put it in the order. The other decision you need to make is whether or not you're going to award the attorney's fees and costs the assessors asked for in the amount of $3,000. Then your discretion to order that. So however the pleasure of the commission.
Do we approve each motion separately, or we do them both together?
I think you can roll it all into one motion, whatever your ruling is.
Okay.
Move to grant or deny for the relief sought 30-day window of time, and whether or not you're going to grant the attorney's fees.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? If not, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to grant the
Grant the two motions to compel,
Yes, grant the two motions to compel and also
to
the-
award attorney's
Yes,
fees.
That's right.
Okay, with a
And it's got
30
a time, with a 30-day time limit.
with 30 time limit.
That's correct.
Any questions from the commission on the motion? Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, motion is adopted. Motions are adopted.
I will prepare an order, and it'll be signed, as soon as possible, but it'll have the 30-day window of time, and then we'll serve it on the taxpayer.
That sounds great. Thank you. I just want to, just in case there's ever an appeal, I just want to offer to introduce our three exhibits with the first motion to compel and our two exhibits with the second motion to compel.
Just to ensure they're in the record, there's no,
No problem.
accept
Thank
those
you.
in the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On your way home.
Yes, Chairman, we'll swear in the witnesses, so if you'll be testifying any of the appeal matters today, if I'll go ahead and have you stand up. I'm going to administer an oath to anyone testifying any of the appeals on today's docket. I'll indicate to you individually to affirm the oath and to state your name. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Your name? Thank you.
David Mejia, I do.
Thank you.
I do Cosima Clements.
Thank you.
I do, Mike Allen.
Thank you. Y'all may have a seat. We have an appraiser. Is it
Hi.
Ms. Marquet?
Just me, I think.
All right. Ms. Palmer, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
Just for the commission's information, several of the appraisers are in parishes that are shut down today. So Mike is going to testify for those that can't be online with us. We'll move on to taxpayer.
Hi, Cosima Clements. I represent the property.
Hold on one second.
sorry.
Chandra, you want to read that first appeal? My bad. Getting ahead of ourselves. Sorry.
Everybody's moved around.
A Realty LLC versus Assessor Earl G. Williams and Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 24-22172-024.
Okay, taxpayer, sorry about that.
No
State
prob-
your- Yeah, state your name again and then
Cosima Clements. I represent Esplanade Realty, the property owner of 1002 Esplanade Avenue in New Orleans, Louisiana. The property owner, Esplanade Realty, bought this property on October 5th, 2023 for $950,000. The property in that year was listed for $1.5 million, but ultimately what was paid for it by the property owner was $950,000. As referenced in the recorded cash sale, that is Exhibit 1 on the exhibit list that we submitted. Prior to 2004 and 2005, the property in 2003 was assessed at $776,600. After the property being listed, the property assessment nearly doubled and was even assessed over the listing price. That is referenced in the Exhibit 2 Orleans Parish Assessment History. The property owners had a French Quarter specific real estate agent provide a broker opinion letter. That is the third exhibit in the exhibit list. And based on the current market in the New Orleans area, they have valued the property at $950,000, exactly what was paid by the property owner. With regard to the appraisal that was supplied by the assessor, the properties that were listed, 632 Esplanade is in a better condition. This property was purchased for $1.14 million, and the property has since been assessed at less than the purchase price. 817 St. Anne is in a better property location. It is also assessed lower than the purchase price. For the past 3 years, it was purchased for $1.45 million, and it's being assessed at 1.3. And I'm sorry, we have also 818 Bourbon, which is also in a better location, larger, and is being assessed lower than the purchase price, which was purchased for 1.3 million in 2022, and for the past 3 years has been assessed for 1.14 million. The property owner also has signed an affidavit, which is not in the exhibit list, but they have not collected rent in any which way, shape, or form since their ownership of this property. So they have not made any income on the property since purchased. With the 3 properties that have been listed as comparables, they are not asking for the property be assessed lower than they paid, but would like for the property to be assessed at $950,000, exactly what they paid.
We'll hear from the city of New Orleans.
Good morning, David Mejia, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. The property is 1002 Esplanade Avenue on the outskirts of the French Quarter, on the French Quarter side. There was a couple discrepancies that I found in my review of the property. The square footage indicated by the assessor and by the tax commission was 5976. The MLS listing listed it as 5150. The taxpayer and their appeal listed it at 6500. Subsequent to that, I received a BPO, a broker's price of opinion, at 5,500. And our new square footage, we sent someone out yesterday, was 5,550. So based off of the corrected square footage, we did notice there was a little bit more deferred maintenance than we had originally assumed. The pictures in the listing show better than what the property looked like in person. With that being said, I did crunch some numbers and making a recommendation for a reduction from our appraised value, our independent value, and our current value that we have. Essentially what I did is that I took a $70 cost to cure, cost of repair, times the square footage, which would be 388,500. I took that 388,500, I deducted it from the 1,509,000, and that would leave me with a value of $1,120,500. That would be an improvement value of $972,800. The land at $147,700. So we do have some movement on this. The taxpayer representative was offered that, and we are proceeding with the appeal, and we'll let the board, the commission, make their decision at this point.
Okay, thank you. We'll hear from the LTC appraiser, Marquette.
I appraised the property at $1,253,000 with an undisputed land value of $147,700 and an improvement value of $1,105,300. I was not made aware of the discrepancy in living area size, so I haven't made any adjustments as far as that goes on my end. If you need me to, I can kind of crunch some numbers.
Okay, what square footage did you use in your appraisal?
I used the 5,976. So the 400 or so square footage would definitely make a difference in my value. I would just need to kind of rework it and see what I come up with.
The square footage was 5,550. If you wanted to crunch some numbers, that's
Okay.
about 400 square foot, like you said, though.
Okay. Give me just a moment to
She's
do
doing
that.
questions from the commission to the city or to the taxpayer.
I have a couple. First, to the taxpayer, was there an appraisal done when they bought the property?
There was, as there was a loan in place, and it appraised for what I believe is $950,000.
All right, I was just curious because we don't have any of that documentation on the appraisal, and that would definitely have helped. And to the city, I'm a little confused. I'm looking at y'all's appraisal before the square foot adjustment for $1.26 million. And so if you were going to do your cost to cure, why didn't you base it off of that appraisal based on the old square footage instead of 1.5 million that you just quoted?
I could have did that, just so.
That's a big
it's
difference in value.
It's a good point.
And would probably be real close to their
Yeah.
value if you did the
I
math.
could have done that. I didn't do that. This was, I was scrambling yesterday. It was last minute. I found this discrepancy and we were communicating via email and, we sent somebody out last minute, but that's, a good point, Commissioner Frazier, so.
Any other questions from the commission?
Mr. Chair, I would just ask Mr. Mejia, please repeat your adjusted value? Because
So
you're,
we came up with an adjusted value of 1,120,500. That is, improvements at 972,800 and land at 147,700.
thank you.
Okay, my sales approach value came out at 1,181,000 based on the new square footage.
Questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I'm gonna go with the taxpayer's request of 950,000 total value in lieu of the adjustments on the square footage and the new values that it would produce. That would, be 950,000 total value, land improvement, 147,000 and, the building improvement value would be 803,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Okay, next we have the appeal of Leonard E. Howard versus Assessor Earl G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 24221-71079.
Okay, Assessor's Office?
Good morning, once again, David Mejia, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. The property at 4029 Banks, the current value is 332,600. Our taxpayer requested 350, and our notes indicated that the taxpayer was going to withdraw, but we received no further documentation via email or phone call. I'm assuming that since it's on the docket, they never contacted the tax commission. The subsequent values were very similar, 331 and 340, being that it's really no material difference, and the taxpayer had initially requested a higher value. We're just asking the commission to sustained the, board review total of 332,600.
Okay, we'll hear from the LTC appraiser, Marquet.
I don't think that that one is mine. Let's see. What
It's
was the
yours.
property? It is, oh, is that, Bank Street?
It's Bank Street, 4029.
I'm sorry about that. The value that I have is 331,000 with an undisputed land value of 162,000 and an improvement value of 169,000.
Okay, questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I call for a motion to accept the Board of Review's value of $332,600, which is 162,000 land, 170,600 improvements, total of $332,600.
Okay, we have a motion. Any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Next, we have the appeal of Timothy E. Fleming versus Assessor L.G. Williams and the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 24221-72006.
Assessor's office?
Good morning, once again, David Mejia here again. The property is 1019 St. Anne Street. It looks like the Board of Review valued the, we valued the property at $1,268,100. That value was sustained by the Board of Review at $1,268,100. The tax commission valued it at $1,026,000. Our independent analysis actually landed a little bit north than our original value at $1,323,000. I think the biggest discrepancy we had in this property, and this was another doozy, I guess you can say, multifamily. We're assuming they did it both ways to, get more, better presentation in the market on the investment side and on the single family side. We had it classified as a single family. The taxpayer in their appeal documents also classified it as a single family. The tax commission valued it as a multifamily, and there is a multifamily listing out there. So there is some confusion on this. We valued it as a single family based off of what we saw, based off what the taxpayer represented to us, and based off of the listing as well that shows it that it's a single family with two small independent units in the rear, about 450 square foot each. So the main structure is much bigger than the accessory dwellings that are in the back. With that being said, I think there is some room for movement just to the discrepancy, and I wouldn't mind necessarily splitting the difference on this one here, and I'll crunch some numbers real quick and give you a breakdown. I'm recommending $1,150,000 even. That would be the land at 204,100 and the improvements at 945,900. That's I think kind of in the middle of everybody. I felt that was a fair offer.
Okay, thank you, David. We'll hear from Marquet.
I realized yesterday afternoon when I received the assessor appraisal that same pretty much discrepancies, that it could be a single family or a triplex. I originally ran it as a triplex and explained that there was a main home in dependencies. And I came up with an original value of $1,026,000 with a land value of $204,100 and an improvement value of $821,900. I reworked it yesterday after I received the appraisal as a single family. I think the biggest difference was the main home had a square footage of 2,451. So I ran mine based on that and then used 3 comparables with dependencies. And with that, I came up with a value kind of close to David. It's $1,110,500 with a land value of $204,100 and an improvement value of $906,400.
Thank you. Questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I call for a motion to accept the city's offer of $1,150,000, which is $204,100 of land improvements, $949,900 improvements, total of $1,150,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Next, we have the appeal of Robert M. Dino versus Assessor Earl G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 24-221-72029.
Assessor's Office?
Good morning once again. David here again. I was scrambling a lot yesterday, working these properties. In review of this property, we have revised our appraisal. There was some, the property's under renovation. It's under repair. So it's not necessarily damaged, but it's, under our renovation. So at the time, of the hearing, we should have appraised it as a lower condition rating based off of the renovations that are in progress. So, in looking at that, our value at $996,800 was based off of a repaired value. We came up with a revised value of $843,000, which would leave $550,500 on the improvements and land at $292,500. That's just I guess noticing that the property does have some renovations in progress. Like I said, it's not damaged. It's in the process of being renovated.
Okay, we're here from the LTC appraiser. Mike?
Mike Allen with the Tax Commission. On behalf of Mr. Huval, he appraised the property using the sales comparison approach and came up with a value of $750,000 with $292,500 on the land and $457,500 on the improvement.
Questions from the commission?
Mr. Chair, I'm just confirming what the taxpayer has requested, and looking at that quickly, if you don't mind.
Want to confirm that the taxpayer is requesting $781,913.
Yes, sir.
That's what my records show as well.
That said, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the city's offer, which I think was $843,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Next, we have the appeal of Gordon G. Hobson versus Assessor Earl G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, 24-221-72037.
City of New Orleans Assessor's Office?
David here once again. Apparently everybody is stuck in the rain. The property here, it's 1021 North Dupree. This property sold for $590,000 in September of 23. Our sales validation department, and reviewing it, we found a discrepancy in our data. Our original 2024 value was based off of a square footage of 1494 in average condition. It's actually sold in as 1956 square foot in excellent condition. The property was valued for $540,000. All subsequent values to that are actually right in line with their purchase price at $600,000 by the tax commission and $604,000 by our independent analysis. In reviewing all factors, we felt that the lower number of the $540,000 is a fair number based off of the review that was made by all parties.
Okay, thank you. Mike, LTC appraiser?
Mike Allen again, on behalf of Mr. Huval, he performed an appraisal using the sales comparison approach and came up with a value of $600,000.
Questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the parish assessor's offer at land at $106,400, improvements at $433,600, and for a total of $540,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Okay, our last appeal of the morning is the appeal of Assessor Earl G. Williams versus 1915 Murray LLC and the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 24221733032.
Good morning, once again, David Mejia here again. This property was valued for, the 2024 quadrennial at, 170,300. The taxpayer, appealed it to the Board of Review, who issued a value of 75,000. We disagreed with the 75,000. We didn't have any documentation or any support that led us to that value, so we filed a subsequent appeal to that value. Subsequent appraisals completed by the tax commission and by ourselves were all significantly higher at 205 and 214. With that being said, we're requesting just our original value, the 170,300, which is 20,100 on the land, 150,200 on the improvements, for a total of 170,300. We just felt that $75,000 was not a number that could be supported by any market data we could find.
Okay, thank you. LTC appraiser, Mike?
Mike Allen, on behalf of Josh Laverne, he completed an appraisal using the sales comparison approach and came up with a value of 205,000.
Questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the parish's assessment of 170,300. That's 20,100 for the land, 150,200 for the improvement.
Okay, we have a motion. Any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion is adopted. Is there any other business to come before the commission today? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I call for motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, we are adjourned 9:32 a.m.